All right.
No,
Well,
if it's on your TV, you obviously care about it.
no, I don't. It's just background noise. That's all it is. Anyways, welcome to the Overrated Podcast, episode 3. This is who we 186. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, this is the traditionalist 101. Like he just said, this is episode 3, so I'm actually enjoying the consistency that we're having.
hmm Yeah, I figured, something came up that I really wanted to talk about, and this is something that we've talked about before, but you know, this is a very interesting because the one thing that I love more than anything else when it comes to basketball is the drama. I love NBA drama. So,
You love drama, you love controversy.
mm-hmm. So okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Right? Let me share this out. Let me turn it down. I'm gonna share this out, and then go ahead. You can talk up what you've been up to or whatever. Give people updates on your COVID situation.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I think I fully recovered because whenever I would take my temperature, yeah, here it is right here. It's a temperature gun. I'm pretty sure you've seen something like this before.
Yeah, they have it at my job.
Yeah. So I'm always constantly taking temperature to make sure I'm fine. And right now I'm at 98.2, which is fine, which is decent. It went down to a 97, which is great. As long as it doesn't go to like 99, 100, 101, I'm pretty much all set to go. I'm actually scheduled to work again this Monday.
hmm
But I'll be frank. Like this was probably like the worst vacation of all time I ever had. The worst vacation because one, you're locked up in the room.
yeah.
You really can't go anywhere. You don't want to get anybody sick, so you pretty much can't do anything. Um, but like it was fine. Like I all I've been doing was just catching up some of my reading, reading my Bible and things like that, and going online and try to master my pro FX
Huh?
my my interface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't too bad. Like everything seems to be fine. I'm just glad that I'm better. But yo, like dude, if you ever hopefully God forbid that you don't get it, but man, it felt like I was inside an ice cube or an ice box
Mm.
when because my body was like full with chills. I'm like constantly coughing, and bro, what one of the worst experiences that I ever had. The worst flu probably I ever had. But I'm good now, thank God. And let's get the show on the road.
All right. I've never been tested for COVID. I've never
Yeah,
done the actual test.
yeah, I never been tested either. I only was tested once noticed that I was getting sick. That's the only time I actually tested.
Mm. So, oh well. Anyways, thankfully everything's going on is going good for you. Um, Today, I before we start, I did buy a microphone. I don't know what brand it is. It's a traditional microphone. Got it off of a Twitter account called Fat Kid Deals. It's the best Twitter account out there. So I was able to buy. I bought my niece a paint set, a glow in the dark paint set, and that same Twitter account this had this link to this microphone, which was ended up being only $20. So I'll try it out. It should be here Sunday. I'll try it out. If it works, it's supposed to be USB. It's a USB headset, so USB mic.
Yeah.
So try it out. If it's compatible, then good. If not, then I'll just sell it to somebody. So
No, it should be compatible. Like you shouldn't have to, worry about that. Like it's absolutely is compatible. The only thing is like it comes with the whole entire set,
Oh yeah, yeah. I have
like
to.
this like
I
this
think
filter like.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to assemble it.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Okay, so
gonna be
you
fun. So.
okay, so you got the filter, you got the stand, and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for a stand, for my mic where I could put the stand on the table. Because right
Mhm.
now it's on the floor, and it looks like it's fine, but I do like how some people have it set up where it's kind of like like at this position. I can't
Mhm.
really explain it, but like I actually like it that way instead of having it talking like this. But it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. Now let me do the screen share. I actually just now just went on to the site to the page. So
Now,
uh
while you're doing that, you said you
mhm.
went on. You said you bought the mic on Twitter.
Technically I got it on Amazon, but
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, but I got it done. I got it done. All right.
all right. Don't
So
don't forget don't forget to send the link to the group chat to Jabonis and whoever else.
for what? Yeah, yeah, I did that already. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
okay, okay.
All right, so let me scroll down here. As you can see, I think the video. You see the video playing?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can't hear anything though.
that's fine. You don't need to hear it. You don't need to hear it.
Okay.
All right. So as you can see here, the one thing that I love more than anything else is NBA drama. Like I love like it because the league is full of drama queens. Like not only on the court, off the court, it's craziness, right? And a lot of people say that they're more interested on the transactions than they are than the actual games. I'm not that way, but I can understand it because
Yeah.
of reasons like this, right? So, like I said, me and you, Steve, we've been watching basketball for a long time. What is your opinion on Ben Simmons as a basketball player?
Oh my gosh. Wow, man, what a question. Well, to me, now it's clear that Ben Simmons he is a very talented NBA player.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people would actually say he's like the protege of LeBron James or Magic Johnson or whoever.
Hmm.
And I could understand where they're coming from when they say that, because obviously he could play really good defense. He's good at facilitating,
Excellent
speeding.
passer.
What's that?
Excellent passer.
Yeah. I believe all of that. That he has as a whole could he could make him a really good basketball player. Actually, one of the elite players in the NBA.
Hmm.
The problem that I have with Ben Simmons is like one of the most basic fundamentals of basketball is shooting the basketball.
Hmm.
I mean, I think anybody could agree that that's at least one of the top basic arsenal that you're supposed to have in your game is
Okay.
to shoot the basketball.
Okay. All right. So stop right there. All right. Let me continue on with the whole thing. Right. So I pretty much mirror the same thing you say about him. Extremely talented, phenomenal defender, great passer. Um, Game very much resembles LeBron and Magic. Right. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I know my channel is mainly a gaming channel. I don't really talk sports all that much, but now this past playoffs, Ben Simmons, especially in the second round against the Atlanta Hawks, for whatever reason, just crapped the bed. To be kindly, just it was to a point where not only was he ineffective offensively, he couldn't, like, he became a liability. And it's one thing for your seventh or eighth guy to be a liability. All you really gotta do is play your starters more. But when your second best player becomes a liability, you're not gonna win.
I agree.
And that's what happened with Ben Simmons in these playoffs. Like, not only did he struggle shooting, he wouldn't shoot at all, and it was to a point where he just couldn't shoot and refused to shoot
Well,
completely. Go
it
ahead.
it was actually it was actually worse than that. Not only did he want to shoot, he was actually afraid in
To get
crunch
fouled.
time
Yeah.
to even take the ball to the basket because he didn't want to
Hmm.
get fouled.
Yeah, because not only could he not shoot, his free throw shooting was terrible.
Yeah, it was like what 30%.
Hmm.
Oh
That
man,
that's worse than Shaq.
that's worse than Shaq. That's worse than DeAndre Jordan. Like, come on, when you're bad as those guys, you know obviously you need to work on your craft, but he doesn't want to. Well, yeah, go ahead.
So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So they lose. He's the scapegoat, and what happened was his coach, Doc Rivers, aka the most overrated coach in the NBA,
Oh,
and
he won a
and
championship though.
okay, and Joel Embiid, both essentially threw him under the bus. They both essentially criticized him, and at this point, everything that we're talking about is based on speculation. Because, like you said, I'm not saying that the people are. I'm not saying that the people who are talking are not credible. Obviously, Adrian Wojnarowski, the premier NBA, he's the premier NBA reporter out there, right?
Yeah.
What he's reporting more than likely could be true, but at the end of the day, we don't know anything until Ben Simmons says something, and he hasn't said anything. So as the report says, he's not going to report. He's done with the 76ers. He doesn't want to play it anymore, according to the reports. Now, what is your thoughts about this?
of of um of Ben Simmons saying he doesn't want to no longer partake in the Sixers organization, right?
He essentially asked for a trade. Now, mind you, he has 4 years left on a $100 million plus deal to take
Yeah.
into consideration. So go ahead.
Okay. Oh my goodness. This really frustrates me as a basketball fan, and other times where I was thinking about it, it actually pissed me off because when you are in public display and it is your job and it is your duty to go out there, and to perform, which he did not do.
Hmm.
He didn't go out there, especially in the fourth quarter, because I don't know if you know this stat, but in against the Hawks, I believe he was like 1 for 1 in the fourth quarter in game 3, and in game 4, game 5, and game 6. I don't think he barely shot any attempts at all. Like he won, I think 3 attempts max in the
He
fourth
barely.
quarter.
Yeah, he was not involved in the offense in the fourth
Yes,
quarter.
yes. Now there was one thing that Shaq, not Shaq, that Charles Barkley had said, and he basically said all the Sixers is asking you to do is to be better. That's all they're asking you to do. And you mean to tell me that all you want to do is just play victim, and you want to no longer participate in the 76ers organization, who already is paying you guaranteed money, who's paying you money, and what is their reward, and what you gave them in return is that you want to be traded, despite the fact that it's your fault that you perform this way. It's nobody
Why?
else's fault.
Why do you think he wants to get traded?
I think he felt that he was betrayed, by
Mm.
by Doc and by Joel Embiid, and obviously, I've heard that fans were really irate with Ben Simmons.
Obviously, like he plays in one of the most rabid fan bases in the country, and borderline insane fan bases in the country. So
I would say it's New York, but yeah, I mean,
Hmm?
you're
Oh,
right.
yeah, yeah, obviously Europe, but when it comes to Philadelphia, they're trust me, they're up there.
Now,
They're up
but
there.
now before we continue, I want to say this, quick piece before we move on.
Mhm.
I know you want to say something, but I want to backtrack. I think it was what, last year or 2 years ago. I think it was last
Mhm.
year. I really wanted to backtrack because you and I had this debate last year,
Mhm.
and somebody on Twitter, decided, to come in, and I was having a debate with him. I don't know if you remember, but but this shows that I was right the whole entire time, and that Brett Brown should never have gotten fired.
Oh, come on! Like,
No,
stop
no,
that!
no, 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 no,
Stop
no.
that!
This was proof that I was right the whole entire time because it was the players that should have been held accountable, not the coaching staff, the players. Because look, you have to think of it this way. I think Ben Simmons was injured that year.
Mhm.
I think he was injured that year, but Joel Embiid, he couldn't stay in shape. The guy could not stay in shape. And
Wait. Are you talking about like the bubble, right?
yeah,
Okay. So you're going to blame Joel Embiid for losing his second best player, scoring like 30, 40 points a game and still losing? Is that what you're doing?
yeah, because in the fourth quarter, and in the fourth quarter, you could tell that he was gassed.
Yeah, because he's carrying a bunch of nobodies.
I don't want to hear that. I
You
don't want to
they
hear
were
that.
you think they were going to beat the Boston Celtics in that series without Ben Simmons?
They couldn't even compete. Didn't they get swept?
They get swept. They got swept because they didn't have their second best player.
No, no, I just, so okay, but yeah, you still blame Brett Brown for that loss.
I didn't blame Brett Brown. My point was is that at some point you if you're stagnant, you have to move on.
If you
That just
but if you're going to be consistent, if you're going to say that Ben it was because of Simmons' injury, then Brett Brown shouldn't have gotten fired.
hmm?
If you're going to put it all on Ben Simmons for not for because of his injury, then Brett Brown should have never gotten fired.
Like they weren't gonna go anywhere with him anyway.
I mean, of course, the guy had to go through of the team tanking, so they could get Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. He had to go through all that nonsense.
I think that's part of the problem with Ben Simmons as well. But I'll explain that when it's my time.
Yeah. So you had a guy who never wanted to shoot the ball, right? And I don't know if you remember this interview. I can't remember who was the interviewer, but the person was interviewing Kobe Bryant, and Kobe
Hmm.
Bryant basically said that Ben Simmons is really talented, but he needs to learn how to shoot the ball.
Hmm.
So so the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, you can't constantly just blame the coaching staff if somebody doesn't want to take charge and shoot the basketball. You cannot. And then now that we see with with Doc Rivers, you see Ben Simmons is still having the exact same problems regardless of the coach. Shows that it wasn't the coaching staff, it wasn't coaching, it was the players, not the coaching, it was the players.
Okay. Let me give you my thoughts and then I'll address that point. Now, to me personally, like I do think he's a very talented player. Um, I when everyone was saying that he should be that they should trade him, I was hesitant because the one thing that I always thought about players, right? And I know there's some players who are very, stubborn when it comes to their style of play, right? They have a way that they play. That's it. Like they just, you know, they just play the way that they play, and they're not going to change, right? I always think that the best way for a player to learn is through embarrassment, through
What?
public, through embarrassment, through public shame, basically.
Public humiliation?
Hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't wait
give
to
you a
hear
perfect
this.
example. LeBron James, 2011. He if he was half if he was halfway decent, they win that championship, right? but he struggled for whatever reason. He struggled, and I think that he had to change his game to the point where he had to, one, he took over the lead from Dwayne Wade as their quote best player, right? And he had to pretty much embrace playing at the four, playing the power forward position,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is something that he was very hesitant to do in Cleveland, and frankly, something that he I don't think he's hesitant to do it now, but he definitely is not, you know, pushed to do that a sense, right? Because mainly because he's won the championships. He can do whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
Now, to me, if and cause all this stuff about Ben Simmons, you know, lack of work ethic, not improving, all that stuff has been. I've heard rumors about that in the past, right? From NBA reports. But when it becomes like, and I do think that what happened with him was more mental than physical. Clearly, because look, we've seen him shoot good free throws well before. He's not a great free throw shooter, but he's definitely better than 30% in his career. Same thing with scoring. Like, he's talented enough to score whenever he wants. He's that physically imposing. So I do think a lot of what he was dealing with was mental. But I think that the best way for a player to learn is by realizing, seeing it live action, living with the way that, hey, you know what? At some point, I'm gonna have to change my game if we're gonna take this team to the next level, right? That's what happened with LeBron. I do think that that's something that I think um someone like a Damian Lillard is going to have to learn. I'm not blaming his failures on him. It's not his fault. Like, he does his team. They're a team that's good enough to be good in the Western Conference, but not good enough to get anywhere past the Western Conference Finals, and even some cases where they may not even be good enough to make it that far. He plays in a city in Portland that's not a free agent destination. But I do think that his way of playing, I think that he may have to change the way that he plays in order to see if the team can go farther. If you get what I'm saying.
Well, he has obviously the talent, but the problem is if he's the best player, they're not going to they're never going to win anything.
Who, Damian Lillard?
Yeah, if he's the best player, they're not going to win anything.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I think that if he's their best player, they should be able to win. The problem is, one, and I think the major problem is they don't have enough good players. And two, I do think his playing style has to be more than just chucking up 30-foot threes. Even though he can do that, I think that if he tries to be more of a facilitator, maybe maybe that the team can be better. But that we're going off topic. We're going off topic. Let's stick to Ben Simmons, right? Now, with Ben Simmons, I do think a lot of that of it is his attitude is aided by the fact that he was the number one pick, where his team, which I think he went to LSU, they had a losing record, and he barely played half the games. So like like he's in a situation where they're not winning, right? Then he comes to this team, to this Philadelphia 76er team that is essentially embrace losing. And when you embrace losing, like, who's being held accountable? Nobody. See, with the thing when you're losing, no one's held accountable for anything. No one's held accountable for, because your organization is embracing losing. Trust the process. That's embracing losing. That's
Yeah,
embrace losing.
I agree.
So who's going to be held who's going to hold Ben Simmons accountable for him struggling? Like, if he was held accountable for his struggles earlier on in his career, maybe he would have been a better player by now. Like, again, I'm just speculating. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just speculating. But you have a guy who's obviously very talented, but clearly doesn't have the work ethic to get better.
Well,
At least offensively. And you have a guy, and look, like, and to go the circle to the Brett Brown comment, I'm not blaming him for the loss, but the problem is that at
you
some
were
point, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, I'm not blaming him for the loss because
okay.
because there's nothing he could have done. The problem is that when it comes to coaching, I'm always a believer that when it comes to coaching, at some point you're gonna have to make an upgrade. Because if your two best players cannot get better playing with each other, and the stats show they don't play that well together. They don't play that well together. But when you're a coach that can't bring out the best in your two players, then you have to make a change. Maybe get someone who can relate to them more, someone who they respect more, and Brett Brown at the end of the day, I think that was his first job, first time head coach. He doesn't have the pedigree. He just
Well,
doesn't.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't he coach for? Wasn't he with San Antonio?
He was the assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's an assistant. He's not Greg. He's not Greg Popovich. He's an assistant.
Yeah, but he was underneath Greg Popovich.
All right, that's fine. That's cute. So is a lot of head coaches, but the main guy is Greg Popovich. And the thing is that if you can't get your best players to be better, then at some point they were gonna have to make a change. I didn't have a problem with them changing the head coach. I didn't have a problem with it, right?
Okay.
The thing with and then you fire Brett Brown, you bring in Doc Rivers, who, based on his one championship ring, he should have that pedigree. He should have that pedigree. But I remember this distinctly when he said, well, when he was asked about how you're going to improve Ben Simmons, and he kind of shrugged it off, laughed it off, saying that, oh, and granted he wasn't him that series, but that's the wrong message to send.
Wait, what did he say?
He said that he was gonna let Ben Simmons be himself. Be himself. He
Damn,
was
I
gonna
wish
let
he
him
could have
be
done
him.
that.
And me personally, I think that's the wrong message to send to a organization that has that have had no accountability for the years that they since the whole process thing started. No, his thing was that they're going to find ways to put Ben Simmons in the best situation to succeed.
Yeah,
He's
but
that what he should have said.
okay, but at the exact same time though, simultaneously nothing has changed.
No, it hasn't changed. And who and frankly,
Regardless.
I blame Doc Rivers for that.
No, 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 no,
I
no,
blame
no.
Rivers for that.
No, no, no. For one, he was only there for 1 year.
I don't care.
No, no, you have to care because he was only
No,
there.
I don't
He was
care. No, no,
only
no,
he
no.
was
Let
only
me
there for one
look,
year.
look, let me explain.
For
Let me
one
explain.
year,
Let me explain.
and yet the
Here
player.
you
But
have a championship winning coach, right? What you said, championship winning coach, right? Everybody knows what's going on in the league. This isn't new. This isn't rocket science. Everyone knows that Ben Simmons can't shoot. Everyone knows that. And as the coach, the championship winning coach that he is, should have gotten him to at least scheme the way to get him to be better. And if he refuses to be better, send a message. Don't play him. It's that simple. But he continued to play him, and they got what they deserved. They got it. And what was it now? Weren't they down? What was it, the third, fourth time that a Doc Rivers team had lost a series lead in the playoffs?
yeah,
So I'm supposed to, like, he has all these, and plus before he got the big three, he was a losing he had a losing record as a head coach,
yeah, but you have
and
to
was
remember.
about to get fired in Boston until McHale and Ainge decided to make a friendly deal to bring Garnett up to Boston.
Yeah, but he was that at the very least that team has always been a playoff contending team.
No, they weren't.
Yeah,
No, they weren't.
I remember all the all the rivalries with Boston with Boston and Indiana and with who was the other
He
rivalry?
wasn't the coach of those teams.
I think he was.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was.
We'll look it up. Let me look it up. Look it up. Excuse me. Like let's look at his resume.
Yeah. I quoted because he coached Boston without Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett before.
Yeah, and they were bad. And they were bad.
They weren't even a playoff team. Yeah. Let's look it up. Go ahead.
I'm getting it right now.
Because I don't want to send wrong information in the podcast. So if I'm wrong, yeah, just correct me.
Okay. Looking on it right now. Okay, let me do the screen share thing again.
Yeah, good idea. But yeah, why are you doing that? Are you still looking?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So while you're still looking,
Mm-hmm.
this like I said, this is proof. This was proof that you have to put the players accountable, and stop using the coaches as a scapegoat. Because here's the thing: if we are going to fire Brett Brown, and then you want to hire a new coach, and yet you still have the exact same problem with two different coaches, clearly the problem is not the coach. It's not the coach. It's the players. The players, was the issue, not the coaching.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, in my opinion, it is the players that needs to be held accountable. And I agree with you that if a player is not going to perform like he should be, that the alternative is not to play him. But even you said this is a players' league, and that
it is a players' league,
and that because he is, I guess, quote unquote, one of the elite players, he can't. Doc Rivers or Brett Brown couldn't just put him on the bench or say that you're not going to be in a rotation. They would have got. But
he has quote. No, he wouldn't. Like, he has the resume, right? He has the resume. He has the cachet to say, listen, if you're not going to participate, if it's going to be 5-on-4, then there's nothing there. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do. So all right. So let me look at his resumes. Right. So his first year coaching was with Orlando.
This is Doc Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to
make it bigger?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Because it's so small, I can barely see it.
Let's see. That's really away.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just increased the screen size on mine.
Okay.
So
okay.
I can see it really well here.
Okay. All right. So all right. So his first year he was 500. Second year 43-39, 44-38, 42-40, and then they started off 1-10, and he got fired. Right. So and then first year in Boston was they did well, 45-37.
Okay.
Then 2006 they were 33-49, 24-48, and 2008 was the year they got Kevin Garnett.
Wait, Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, let me see. You said 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so 66-16. That's an outstanding record.
Yeah, that's fine. But what about the years before that?
The year before that was 24-58 is awful. Yeah, that was awful.
And I guarantee you he was on the verge of getting fired.
But the 2005 they went to playoffs that year.
Yeah, but hold on, let me see. They playoff wins, and so 2005 I think they lost in the first round.
Dude, that was so long ago, dude. Weren't we still in high school?
No, we're just
we graduated in 04.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that was a long time ago. So I can't Do you remember who they lost against?
No.
Okay, so you can't remember either. Yeah, I can't, dude. I cannot. If I try, I won't be able to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So overall, his head coaching was around 500, right? That was his That was his coaching record with 500,
yeah,
right? And he gets the big three. They win one title, and he hasn't been close since. He hasn't been close since. He's had good regular season records, right?
no, but remember he went to the finals again.
Yeah, the next year.
Yeah, no. Orlando went to the finals against LA the year after that.
Okay. Oh,
And
okay. And then after that. Oh, wait. I thought they didn't they. I thought they played back to back years.
no, because first Boston beat LA,
And
and
then and
then
then
LA beat Orlando,
oh, okay.
and
And then
then
and then.
and then LA, won Game 7 against Boston.
Oh, okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So
That
he
makes sense.
so you're actually wrong with that. He actually did become close of winning, another title.
Okay, but he only has one.
That's fine. There's plenty of coaches that doesn't have any right now.
That's fine, but he has one, and he also has a history of postseason collapses under his name. That's a fact. You can't. That's right or wrong.
To a degree.
No, not to a degree. Is that your yes or no, Steve?
No, to a degree, because he's gone to the finals. He's gone to the finals, more than once. He's gone to the Eastern Conference Finals, and he has gone to the second round in the Western Conference. So it's
Wow.
like,
Oh, wow. Second round of the Western Conference. Oh, that's outstanding. Outstanding. The fact is, he had a 3-1 series lead with the Clippers against Denver. They lost, right? Yeah, I
mhm.
believe they had a 3-2. I think they had a 3-2 series lead against Atlanta. They lost. They had a
Yes.
3-1 series lead against Houston. They lost without James Harden. Without James Harden.
Wait, hold on.
Remember, it was that fourth quarter where I think Josh Smith went. Remember, Harden was having his typical bad game 7. I think it was either game 6 or game 7. It was one of those shrank in the playoffs like he normally did back then. And then I know Houston came back and beat them in 7.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Josh Smith just went crazy,
Yeah,
and yeah, I remember. I
yeah.
remember that game. Yeah.
He has more than one postseason collapses under his name, under his belt. So like, yeah, he's an overrated. In my opinion, he's an overrated coach.
Wow.
Very much overrated.
Overrated coach.
Yes.
Despite the fact that he's still a championship coach, and it's not like he has never gotten close. Afterwards, you just have to acknowledge that, hey, there were just teams that were just simply better than his.
When you're
Especially later on when he had to face, San Antonio at the time. Later on, Golden State, like he wasn't losing against garbage teams or average teams. Like these were elite championship contending teams.
you know I'm not gonna mention it. I'm gonna point this out to you after the podcast, because if I do point it out right now, we're gonna be here forever. But I
No,
wish you had I wish you had this type of energy for certain NBA legends who you criticize for losing in the biggest stage, but yet you're making excuses for coaches losing in the notch below those stages and having collapses in those stages. But I'm not gonna go there right now. So let's go. Let's
I
get to
mean,
the.
you
Let's
can.
finish. No, I'm not going to. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. Do you think Ben Simmons is gonna get traded? I don't think he is. Personally, I don't think he is. I think he said that I guess there was a report that he's willing to sit out the entire season. I don't buy that. I don't buy
Okay.
that. You're
Okay.
willing to lose millions of dollars just because you don't want to play for the team. I don't buy that.
No. Well, okay. Okay. First off, This is what you also need to remember, though. I'm pretty sure you already know this, but they said that they're going to fine him
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
if he's not going to play.
yeah.
But here's the thing. Even if they do that, that's not going to take money away, from the salary cap. The salary cap still sticks.
Okay.
At least that's what I think. So they're not doing. It's not going to help the 76ers in either direction if they keep him and just constantly fine him. They're not getting that money back.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
But
so keeping him, and he's saying that he's going to, just not, participate in games. That doesn't help the 76ers either. So
okay.
they have to trade him so they could continue on, with the team and trying to win a championship. They
Well,
have to.
but what can you possibly get for a player that everyone already knows don't want to be there?
Well, if you're gonna have to you're gonna have to talk to Ben Simmons and ask him give you a list of teams that you want to play for.
No, from what I heard, all he wants to do is play in California, and the Lakers don't have room for him. I don't think the Clippers are gonna get him. Like, I think the team that's been the biggest candidate is Golden State. And if you're Philadelphia, why the hell would you who would you want on that team? Because you have to remember, you need someone to complement Joel Embiid. So who are you gonna get? Like, they're not gonna trade Klay Thompson to you. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're not gonna give you Steph Curry. You know what? What do you need? You don't need Draymond Green. Like, Draymond Green is just a less talented version of Ben Simmons. A far
Yeah.
less talented version of Ben Simmons.
Well, at the very least, he will still shoot the ball.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes he shoots when he shouldn't be shooting. But excuse me. Then what? You Andrew Wiggins? Like you know what I mean? Like, who? If you're Philadelphia, you need to get something that you're not going to get equal value for Ben Simmons. You're just not. But what you need someone who's going to help make Joel Embiid, even better than he is right now.
Okay.
You need someone who can facilitate at least close to what Ben Simmons can, and is someone who's willing to shoot threes when he needs to.
Uh, um, do me a favor. Can Are you able to pull Ben Simmons stats for last year's performance against the Hawks, or you don't think you'll be able to find it?
I obviously I can find it. Hold on.
All right. So while you're doing that, let me say this. Like I said before, they're not getting the money back, and the more that they hold on to Ben Simmons, all that's going to do is cause more of a distraction. And clear why and here's the thing, as a boss, why in the world would you want to continue to hold on to somebody that clearly said that they don't want to work for you? They don't.
Because they gave him all that money. Like, they didn't give him the money for no reason.
Okay, that's fine, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to be there, you're gonna have to get rid of the guy. If he doesn't want to be there, trade for somebody who will play for you. And at the end of the day, if you become a championship contender anyway, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess, but like you said, like, if when everyone already knows that the situation between you and the player is not good, why would they give you why would they pony up for why would they pony up for you? Like, to me, the 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 team, like, outside of obviously Golden State, I mean, obviously Sacramento's been talking. If you're Philadelphia, you gotta hope that one of these bottom feeder teams, like Philadelphia, or not Philadelphia, like Sacramento, Cleveland, Detroit, one of these, like, you know irrelevant teams ponies up, and like, and you tell Ben Simmons, F you, here you go to purgatory. You know what I mean? Like, there you go.
Well, that here's the thing. If I was the owner of one of those teams
Hmm.
and they were offering me Ben Simmons, I'm going to worry that he'll pull the exact same stunt to me. If he look what I mentioned to you before about Blake Griffin and my criticism towards him, what he did to Detroit.
Hmm.
Oh, that he didn't, he played, but you could see that he didn't put his best effort out there on the court. But then you saw a completely transformation when he went to the Nets.
Hmm.
Ben Simmons is just going to do the exact same thing. You don't want to take him to a team to where he's going to pull the exact same stunt and say, well, no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in Detroit. I don't want to be in Cleveland. The same cycle is going to happen all over again.
Well, but you're not going to give him what he wants.
You have to give him what he wants.
Well, how does that make you?
You have to give him what he
So
wants.
you're
If you
you're literally willing to throw away 4 years, $100+ million just to cater to a crybaby?
as long as you could get something with equal value or close to it, you'll be fine.
No, no. If you can get equal value, which I mean, you're not going to get equal value, but if you can get something close to it, that's fine. But if you have a great deal in place, let's say if they trade with Cleveland, if you have a great deal in place with Cleveland, then I'm gonna be like, screw your feelings. You're going to Cleveland.
But
Like,
then, but what about Cleveland? What happens if he does the same thing with Cleveland?
well, I mean, I think Cleveland can follow agreements towards Ben Simmons if he doesn't want to play. I mean, I think Philadelphia can do the same thing, but like, they're just gonna find. I guess they're just gonna find him. If
Well,
anything, like, because again, he does. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think that Ben Simmons has a no trade clause in his contract. Like, it's his first contract. Like, he has no. His only power play is to do this. That's it. And if he just wants to leave Philadelphia, then it's not a big deal. Then none of this is a big deal. All he's gonna do is just play for the other team. If he just wants to leave Philadelphia, but if he
so
if he but if he wants to like play, if he wants to choose where he wants to play, then yeah, it's gonna be a problem. But go ahead.
so 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 you believe do you honestly believe, just you don't have to just give me a yes or no, you honestly believe that Ben Simmons is going to cooperate if he goes to a team like Detroit or Cleveland?
If everything I said was true about him, rather just I think he just rather leave Philadelphia. Then yes, I do think he will cooperate.
You think so? Hmm.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I honestly believe that he wants to go to a team where he could win a title.
I mean, if they wanted to win a title, like, he should, like, he like the last thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on to the next topic, is that if he wants to win a title, he has to realize that he has to realize that he has to be better. Like, if he has no self awareness to the point where where, like you said, like, he's reacting as if everyone else is the problem. If he truly believed that he's not the problem, then he's never gonna win anything.
Well, yeah, you see, I mean, because look, you see, I think you and I talked about this. You look at the difference between him and Giannis,
Hmm.
right? Now, everybody kept on saying, even to this day, people would say, well, Giannis, even though, despite the fact that he won a championship, he's not the best. He's not the best player, in the league, which I think he is. Excuse me.
Which is
Which I
what
think.
which I've always told you, but
No, you said it was Kevin Durant.
no,
Don't
wait, but
start. You said it was Kevin Durant.
wait.
You said it was
Before
Kevin
wait, wait,
Durant.
wait, wait. Before that year, when you talked about when you always ask me who is the best player in the league, what have I always told you? Before this year, because I do think Kevin Durant is the best player this year. But in the past,
Okay,
in the past couple years, who's the one person I've always told you was the best player in the league?
either LeBron or Kawhi.
No,
Yes.
no, no, because our argument had to do with MVP, best player. You were always on the line. You were always a James Harden guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a James Harden guy. Who did I say was better?
KD.
Giannis. Giannis. Well, I think KD is better too, but Giannis. I've always said that Giannis was the best. Our arguments has always been the argument between James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's what our
Mm,
argument was.
nah, I remember KD was always in there because I don't recall ever saying that Giannis is not the best player.
I don't know. I've always said that Giannis was because of all his things, all the things that he can do now, and I still think he can get better. I still think he can get better.
Yeah, but
But
when he got swept with the Heat, I don't recall you saying that he was the best player in the league.
I don't remember. No, I could have sworn I said I still said he was still the best player in the league. At least I remember. Well, I don't remember. But here's the thing. You were gonna make the comparison between Giannis and Ben Simmons.
Yeah, because you saw the difference. You saw the difference between a guy who who was criticized of shooting air balls, right? Shooting air balls on
Mhm.
the free throw line, shooting air balls, in the 3-point line. Well, which I don't really fault players for shooting air balls from the 3-point line. I usually let that slide, but in the free throw line, yeah, that's inexcusable.
There
And
is one big difference between the two, but I'll say that after you're done.
okay, and you have fans making fun of him, counting to having a countdown,
Mhm.
having a field day with this guy,
Mhm.
and yet he was still able to be a huge difference maker, shoots the ball whenever he needed to, and this was proof that you could still become the best player in the league, or top 3 or top 5 player in the league, even if you can't shoot the ball well. I, I mean, Tim Duncan wasn't universally a great a great shooter. Shaquille O'Neal wasn't a great shooter at all. But yet those guys were still able to dominate so much, to the fact that it was still able to contribute to wins. And the same and that's what Giannis basically did. He still won, despite the fact that he can't shoot as well as a Kyrie, James Harden, or KD or Steph Curry. It didn't
Well,
matter.
look, they're the same guy. Like Ben Simmons and Giannis Antetokounmpo are the same player. It's
No, they're not.
essentially, yeah, they are.
That's an insult.
No.
That's an insult.
Let me give you my explanation.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, they both are to the basket transition players. Both phenomenal defenders, very lanky, very long, great defenders, right? But here's the main difference between the two of them. Giannis not being able to shoot free throws, not being able to shoot threes, those are deficiencies. What happened with Ben Simmons in that series turned into a liability because at the end of the day he wasn't willing to shoot and he wasn't willing to take the ball to the basket. That's what Giannis did. Even throughout all the time, all this year of people clowning him with the countdown,
Yeah.
with the air balls, with not shooting the three, all this other stuff, right? He still kept playing, still kept going, and still dominated. Ben Simmons can do the same thing if he puts his mind to it. But clearly there's something off, and I do think work ethic has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean?
And
Like that's why I say they're the same player. And you can and it's not a I don't look at it as a bad thing. The difference is that one person, his weakness is a deficiency. That's all there is to it. If he works hard enough, I think he can get better at those things. With Ben Simmons, he had the same weaknesses, but as of right now they're a liability because it will, because we have no idea if that will stop, if he will recover from this, if he will recover from shrinking in the playoffs. We don't know that yet. He's too talented to let this affect him long term, but we don't know. We
It's
don't
it's
know his psyche.
it's been 4 years already.
Okay, that's fine, but
He hasn't improved at all.
I mean, yeah, but like he still, but there were times when when he would shoot from the outside. There were
When?
times it's happened. Like, come on, like it's
I don't
happened.
buy that.
But
I
there's
don't
been
buy
time
that.
when there have been time when he's been okay at the free throw line, but but that series he wouldn't shoot at all. That's a liability. So in order for that team to, regardless of whether he stays or goes, at the end of the day, he has to turn those those liabilities into simply just deficiencies. Just if I work hard enough, maybe I will shoot from the outside. If I work hard enough, maybe I will, shoot free throws better. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's the main difference. Even though I do look at them at the same type of player. But do
Wow.
you have anything else to say before we change topics? Do you have any lasting comments?
Um. Well. Yeah. One last thing. I do believe that Ben Simmons um is a lazy player.
Mm.
He's a layabout because you have to remember this. Also having though that he signed this massive contract where he's obviously going to get obviously going to get a lot of money. And if it's to the point to where he does not want to work on his game by shooting the ball and and whatnot, that should already be a clear indication for you and for all the fans and including the coaching staff that he does not want to get better. He does not. Your mentality should be, you know what, it is my fault that we lost that series. It's my fault that I didn't want to shoot the ball. It's my fault that I didn't work on my on my free throws for this for the past 3 4 years, and that Kobe Bryant was right. But yet, instead of trying to work on his game, he wants to leave. He wants to quit. He wants to go to another team, despite the fact that he's going to get checks. Every what I think they get. I think NBA players get a check like what, twice a month.
I don't know.
I can't remember. But despite all of that, that should be enough indication for you that he does not want to get better. He does not want to get better. You
Well,
clearly could see the difference between him and Giannis, and which is why I said, I think it's an insult for you to compare those two guys. Now, him and Draymond Green, okay, fine. You want to compare those two, fine. Compare those two. If you want to compare him to like a Rajon Rondo, fine. Go ahead. But I'm not going to compare him with Giannis. I absolutely not. Yeah,
as for,
Giannis.
okay, again, like, did you listen to what I said?
Yeah, you said they were like basically the same two type of players that could facilitate and all the other stuff.
Yeah, like I like I'm talking about the actual play style are the same. The big difference is Giannis, his, like I said before, his weaknesses are his weaknesses are deficiencies. Ben Simmons' weaknesses are liabilities. Because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to take the shot, if you're not willing to take contact to go to the basket, then you're doing your team a disservice. Despite the same weaknesses that Giannis has, he is willing to shoot. He is willing to go to the free throw line. There's a difference. If Ben Simmons can take those liabilities and turn them into basically just deficiencies, then I think he can reach that level. But it just depends on if he actually wants to take that level. Like, it just depends. Like, and I don't know if he wants. I don't know if he wants to do that. Like, based on everything I've heard, he doesn't want to do that. But
No,
I'm hoping that the embarrassment that he dealt with in in the playoffs would motivate him to be better. But like I said, we don't know. We don't know at the end of the day. Like you said, he wants to get traded. I don't know if he's gonna get traded, but we'll see.
No,
We'll
but
see.
I get what you're saying, but
Hmm.
like I just said, just a couple seconds ago, if his response is I want to get traded,
Hmm.
that
And
shows
not taking any responsibility. I
that
get that too. I get that
that
too.
yeah
But
that
but
shows he
I
doesn't
but
want to
I,
get better.
but I also think, like I said earlier, I do think that's a mindset that I think is aided by the fact that that franchise embraced losing for so long. And when you don't hold no one accountable for losing, then can you really take account? Can someone really take accountability for not playing well? It doesn't surprise me that he doesn't take that he doesn't take that he's responding to criticism with, "Oh, I want to be traded." It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Instead of being like, "Oh, I'm gonna get better, this and that." And I also think and this okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I
you
think
said it for
that
the last two
yeah, I know, I know,
couple.
I know, I know, I know. Because there's a lot of layers to this.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think one of the problems, and really was a bad sign, was him not playing in the Olympics. Now, mind you, he's Australian, right? So like he could have played for the Australia team. He was gonna get in no matter what, right?
Okay.
And the best way for a player to get better is by playing. Is by playing, and he chose not to play. So what? I mean, what does that tell me? To me,
Yeah, that
it tells me that it's someone that's not that is still, at least to me, at least based on the outside. Because like I said, I don't we don't know what he's doing 24/7. But based on purely on the outside, someone who doesn't seem who's not taking responsibility for losing, for being the reason why they lost.
yeah, and and here's well, I mean, yeah, my bad.
Hmm.
Here's one thing I also wanted to point out. You hear a lot of NBA players always say, "Oh, we have to watch the tape. We have to watch the tape. We have to watch the tape." Somebody, whether it's his teammates, one of the coaching staff, his friends, somebody had to have shown him, "Look, this is what you did, and this is unacceptable." There is absolutely no way that he could actually believe that he played fine. There's no way. So because so once again, that's an indication to me that he doesn't want to shoot the ball, and that he doesn't want to get better at shooting or get better at at the free throw line. Because look, when it comes to players, like Giannis, or players in the past, like Shaquille O'Neal, guys who weren't really great shooters, but their dominance could still compensate that. I don't think you can say the same thing with Ben Simmons. You can't.
Well, yeah, especially if you're not going to shoot, if
Right.
you're not willing to go to the free throw line, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly believe that you don't even I don't think you should have, somebody, one, who doesn't want to play there, for the 76ers, someone who does not want to put the effort to get better at shooting or get better at at the free throw line, and then someone who doesn't even want to partake in the game at all because he's afraid to go to the free throw line. So with all of those reasons, I think it is best for the Sixers to try to get rid of him ASAP before the season starts.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's my final take. When it when it comes to that, because one last thing, because I think um against the Hawks, I think in total for that whole entire series, I think he averaged like 6 point something field goal attempts in the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
So that I mean, dude, you that again, that is just enough proof that he just doesn't want to get better. It's just, something's wrong with his psyche. Something's going on in his mind for him to not wanting to do one of the basic fundamentals of basketball, and that is shoot the ball. Now, I know you might say, "Oh, well, layups is still part of that game too," which I agree with. Which is fine. But like you said, you are actually you're hurting your own teammates when you do not want to shoot. So yeah, I don't want to keep going on and say the same thing. So yeah, that's my final take. So what's your final take?
No, I already said it. Like I pretty much already said it. Like he like at the end of the day, it is, we'll see what he wants to do. I don't think he's gonna get traded, and we'll see if he looks at himself as the reason, or if he because the way it comes off like he's blaming them and that he wants to leave. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Brandon, go to your topic.
All right. So let me
Oh yeah,
share.
before I start, I do want to point out to you that this is the third week in a row that your topic involves attacking female athletes. Just letting you know. Go ahead.
Wait, what?
Please
I already know what you're insinuating, but
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I already know what you're trying to say, and you're wrong. You're wrong.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah. So this basically will involve Naomi Osaka, and let me share this real quick. Share screen. Can you see it?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pop it up. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So second topic. As you can see, it basically says Naomi Osaka pulls out from the next month's Indiana Wells tourney, and it basically said that I'm not going to read the whole entire article,
Hmm.
but pretty much it says Naomi Osaka, who said at the U.S. Open that she plans to take a break from tennis, has officially pulled out of next month's BNP, um, and yeah, all this stuff. So she's basically saying she's going to take a break, from the sport.
Hmm.
And here's the problem, that I been having, with Naomi. I'm going to start off by saying, I don't know if you remember. I can't. I really wish I had looked back before we started, but there was a moment where when she beat Serena Williams,
Hmm.
and she was basically being booed when I after the game. After she,
Wait. Let me clarify, cause I know exactly what you're talking about. They weren't booing her.
they were booing her.
No, they weren't.
Okay,
No,
okay,
they weren't.
all right. So go ahead.
No.
What happened
What happened was, and I believe this is the same matchup that you're talking about, right? Serena Williams got upset with the
with the umpire?
yeah, over
Yeah,
something. I forgot what it was, but apparently she felt like he was treating him unfairly, and she was really upset about it. And even I think it was I don't know if this happened after the match, but she was pretty much just berating the dude, right?
yeah.
And I think that's what the fans they weren't booing Naomi, because no what would they have to boo Naomi for? Like there's nothing to boo her over.
Well, if they were Serena Williams fans, then yeah, they're going to boo her.
No,
You, you, you,
that's
you,
not how
you,
tennis is.
I mean, well, you see this with all of sports anyway.
That Steve, that's not how tennis. Steve,
When
that's
one of
not how
your
tennis is.
guys when one of your guys or gals loses against somebody else and you're a
They're not
fan,
gonna boo. They're not gonna boo them. Like they're not gonna. At least not in tennis. Like trust me, I've never seen it in tennis.
but she
Never seen
cried
it.
it, but yet she still cried anyway.
Well, yeah, of course, because it's an emotional event. Like it's emotional.
Yeah,
Like
she started
trust
crying
me,
once the booing started.
trust me. They weren't booing her.
Okay,
Believe
but
me.
at the end of the day, though, she started to cry and tear
Okay.
up once the booing started.
That's fine, but they weren't booing her.
Okay, but she still started to cry anyway.
Okay.
Even if she knew that, which if you are 100% right, if you're correct about this, then she should have also have known that they weren't booing, her. But yet she still got emotional about it.
Okay. Okay. Continue.
Okay, so here's my problem, right? I've been seeing, a little bit of a consistency of, these females and Naomi, since this happened with Naomi and recently, obviously, this happened, I believe today or yesterday, whatever.
Mhm.
And the fact that she wants to pull out puts me in a position to say, this is not something that you should be, displaying on TV. You have
What are
you
you? What?
have
Are you, what?
this. You have a job to do. At the end of the day, you still have a job to do,
That's not her
right?
job. Like tennis is not her job.
Tennis is not her job.
No. If she quits tomorrow, she'll be fine. That's not her job.
That
That's
is her
not. That's
job.
not. That's not. That's not her. That's not her. That's not her career.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. She does it. She does it because she. I hope she does it because she loves the sport.
So wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see if I can understand where you're getting at here. Is this only for tennis, or are you saying that for all of sports?
I mean, I honestly, I would put that for all the sports. Cause no. Let me. I'm not lying. I'm lying.
Hogwash.
To me, no. Not cause
Hogwash.
obviously, in the sports, you have a contract. I'm sure she has contracts with her sponsors or whatever, but like who like and I know she has a again I don't know how tennis works honestly, but she's not part of a team. It's an individual sport, yes or no?
Right.
And individual sports, like if like you're not like I said, unless it's a sponsor type thing, which I'm sure she has some. Like if she wanted to quit tennis tomorrow, then she can. Then she can. But I wouldn't consider I don't consider it necessarily a job.
Uh, I would consider it as as a job. But let's continue. So it basically also said that okay, here it is where it says right here. Let me
Mhm.
get my mouse. Where she has struggled on the court since she withdrew from the French Open.
Mhm.
In May. Now, before I continue on, I want this is what I want to say. I honestly believe, Havanel, that
Mhm.
when it comes to Naomi, when it comes recently with Simone Biles, and years ago, now you're going to disagree with me on this, but years ago, is the exact same thing that happened with Ronda Rousey.
Mhm.
What do they all have in common? People were saying that they were either the best at their sport. They were constantly getting obviously getting sponsors. They were getting all this huge acclaim and praise. People saying that they were obviously dominating their sport, yada yada yada, all this other stuff. Now, I honestly believe them constantly being on the spotlight, they could no longer take the pressure of being the number one star in their sport. That's what I believe is part of the problem. They couldn't handle it. So then when they finally start losing, all of a sudden, because look, the pattern has let's start with Ronda Rousey. The
Mhm.
pattern has constantly have been the same. Once Ronda Rousey lost that first match against Holly Holmes, what did she do? She stepped away from the sport.
Mhm.
She comes back, she loses against Amanda Nunes, and she leaves the sport permanently.
Mhm.
Permanently. Now, granted, you could probably might say, well, I need to have the exact same stance with the Misha Tate, but she's back now,
No,
and
no, I don't feel the same way about Misha that I do with Ronda.
oh, okay, all right, cool. Now the same thing happened, with
Oh,
Simone
let
Biles.
me okay. Well, let me explain my stance on Ronda Rousey.
All right,
Right. In my honest opinion, I think there was a lot. I think one when it came to the Holly Holm fight, I'm sure there was a lot of stuff going on around that time with her mother, and her coach, right? Because I think that her mother, I remember her mom was very critical of her coach, saying that he wasn't that good of a coach, that he was propped up by Ronda, which actually ended up being true, right? So I think there's a lot of that was going on, a lot of drama going on, and then she decided, and I do think that Ronda Rousey in general is a sore loser. And no, it's just it's true,
okay,
because when because she was doing and UFC aided in this too. Like they're not absolved of blame here too, right?
okay,
When she decided to come back against Nunes, right?
yeah,
She did no media. She had no obligation to do anything. She just trained, right?
hmm
While Amanda Nunes did media, she did everything, and they barely promoted her. Barely promoted Amanda Nunes, who was their champion,
yeah. I
right?
think she even addressed that too.
Yeah. So so if you're Ronda Rousey, right? Like you lose, you decide to take a year off, right? Then you get everything handed to you, hand over foot, and hand over foot. Like you get, and it was even said that she was setting up interviews after she had beaten Nunes. So she was gonna do interviews after she beat her. But what happened? She got smoked in 50 seconds, and and she doesn't even like talking about it. You know what I mean? Like that's a sign of someone who doesn't handle losing well. So
Yeah,
and there's people who are like that. Like there's people who are like that who don't handle losing well. Like what happened with Conor McGregor in the last fight. Handle losing like a bitch, like a straight bitch.
you
You know
mean
what I
you
mean?
mean you mean? Are you talking about when his leg was broken?
Mm-hmm.
Well, his leg was broken. What do
Well,
you expect?
he trashed Dustin's wife, and then on Twitter he said some bullshit about Dustin, his wife, and his kid, and then deleted the tweet. So yeah, I have no respect for Conor McGregor. He can go fuck himself. But anyway, that's my opinion on Ronda Rousey.
All right, all right.
Go ahead.
So now here we saw the exact same thing happen again when it comes to Simone Biles. Now I had warned you, previously, that I've noticed that Simone Biles, even during the tryouts, that she did not look good. And when I say she not look good, I don't mean that she was not performing well. All I'm saying is, when you compare her, Simone Biles, to Simone Biles, basically just comparing herself, she
Hmm.
just wasn't herself anymore. At least during around that time. So once she started doing some of her routines, she was making all these rookie mistakes. Not keeping her feet together, going out of bounds, stumbling on her landing, all that stuff. Other people starting to become better. Now you could probably say that it was just her psyche. She wasn't there. At the end of the day, the other girls was outperforming Simone Biles. So once that started to happen, you know what happened? She decided to quit. She wanted to quit and no longer partake, in the sports.
But
Now,
let,
go ahead.
let me say, like, you think she quit because everyone else was doing better than her?
I honestly think that that's what was happening, because she wasn't doing well at all.
Okay, like she was struggling, definitely struggling, right? That based on what you're saying. and you think that she quit because the other girls were doing, and not because she was struggling and that she wasn't in her right state of mind.
I don't buy that. I
Because
don't.
that's what you were saying. Like if she's quitting because she's not in her right state of mind, then okay. But you're saying that she's quitting because the other girl was performing better. It's one thing. Quitting is one thing if she was doing okay and the other one were just doing better than her. Let's say point what's the highest point you can get in gymnastics? Do you know for off the top of your head?
I think it's 15.
15. Okay. All right. So let's say if Simone's getting a 13 and the girls are getting 15s, then okay, then if she said, "Oh, damn, I can't compete with this girl. I gotta quit." Okay, then I can agree with you. But if she's struggling, like if she can't keep her balance right, she can't do this, and mind you, this is someone who is the premier gymnast in her sports history, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If she's struggling that badly, and then she decides, "Yo, I can't do this," and she quits, that's a different story. You're essentially saying she's quitting because the other girls are better, and it seems to me that she quit because she just wasn't it was just wasn't in her that it wasn't in her heart to compete because she just wasn't physically or mentally not there. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. But at the end of the day, you still decided to compete. You still decided to compete. Like
Yeah.
if this was the beginning of like before the Olympics had started and you decided to pull out, maybe,
No, 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 don't do that. Don't do
no, hold on,
that
hold on,
because
hold on,
you're.
hold on, hold on. Maybe, but even with that, you still decided to partake in the sport anyway. You didn't say that you were going to retire or anything like that. So you went to the tryouts. You knew you know you were trying out, for for the Olympic Games, and because you were not performing well, or you like how you say, oh, she just wasn't there, mentally, or whatever the excuse is. You decided not to partake in the sport anymore, but then all of a sudden you decided to partake in the sport at with the balance beam. And now, do I think it's impressive that she were able to win the medal? Yeah, I'm actually surprised. Well, actually, I wasn't surprised that she couldn't win gold or silver because once again she did not look like the standard of Simone Biles. She didn't look like the Simone Biles that we were used to. At least in my opinion, at least the way I was observing her and her performance and her routines. She just didn't look good. So she was able to win a bronze, which is fine. And I believe that was like one of the only medals I think that she had won.
Hmm.
At least for as far as individual routines. When she left and quit, I think she was still able to get a medal because it was a team performance.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you basically figure out that there's other people, there's other girls who are probably outperforming you, and instead of just sucking it up and continue on with your routines, you decide to quit. And the same thing is happening right now with Naomi.
Okay,
Is
can I stop you here because I you just caught yourself in a contradiction big time.
okay.
You said that if Simone Biles had quit before the Olympics, that you would have been it would have been okay.
No, I said maybe, but then I
What
but
do you
then
mean?
I
No, no, no.
hold on, hold on. I said maybe, but then I changed and I said, you know what? No,
All
because she still partake in the tryouts. She still
right, you,
partake in the tryouts.
all right, you saved yourself. But
Ah,
regardless, regardless of that, here's my thing, right? Because I think that's where the difference is between us. I don't think she quit because the other girls were better. She's the greatest gymnast of all time. Like even if they were outperforming her, like I think she's lost before.
Yeah.
Joe said, "No, f you, Naomi ain't doing that." I don't know. I don't know. I think he's probably referring to you.
All right. Let me let me
But
let me let me take a look.
yeah, I don't think she's quitting because of the other girls. Like I highly doubt that. I think the problem was with her that she just mentally, what, or maybe even physically, just not there. She just was, like she said, she had something called the twisties, where she lost track of where she was in the air. Like, you don't, that's scary shit, man. With all the twists and turns they be doing.
Come on. I had already caught you, with that already. Gymnastics is not the only dangerous sport that's out there.
That's fine.
There
Steve,
are, there, there,
Steve,
there
Steve,
are,
Steve,
there are,
Steve,
there
Steve,
are
Steve, Steve,
far
Steve, 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 Steve,
more
Steve,
dangerous
Steve,
sports than
Steve, Steve,
gymnastics.
Steve,
We're talking
Steve,
about no no no
Steve,
no 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 no
Steve,
no 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 because
Steve,
I caught you.
Steve.
That's
No,
why
no,
you
no,
were
no, no, no,
calling.
no, 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 no,
We
no, no,
have
no.
we have
I no, 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 no,
NASCAR.
no, 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 no,
We
no.
have
Steve,
NASCAR. That's a
Steve,
very dangerous sport.
Steve,
We have the
Steve,
NFL. That's a very
Steve,
dangerous sport. We
Steve,
have bull riding, which is a
Steve,
very dangerous sport. I don't want to
Steve,
hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Steve, Steve. If you are not committed to your craft in a very, especially in a sport that's dangerous, and every sport you mentioned is dangerous. But if you're not 100% there, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing the task. Yes or no? If you're bull riding and you have other stuff going on in your mind or your world, and you're not 100% committed to it, why the hell would you do it? It's dangerous enough as it is when you're concentrating at 100%. The same thing with gymnastics. The same thing with football. The same thing with
Basketball.
whatever the hell David Blaine does. You know what I'm saying? If you're not 100% committed to what you're doing, then you're more likely to get hurt.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
always more likely to get hurt.
Oh goodness sake, man. So when people say at everybody should just say at their jobs, hey, I'm not feeling it today. So I'm not going to work because I'm just not feeling it today. My mind is wandering off somewhere else. So I shouldn't be working today.
Hey man, like whatever helps them, not whatever helps you, whatever helps them. Because I do think a lot of your criticisms revolve around on what you want them to do instead of what they do to help themselves. At the end, like what matters most to me is not Simone Biles winning gold medals. I don't give a shit about that.
You don't care
I don't
about
care.
gymnastics anyway.
That's fine. What I care about is that she can live a happy life with her family. I will always applaud that. Because let me give you the perfect example of this. Junior Seau. You remember him, right?
Yeah, yeah,
One of the greatest linebackers of all time. He played down here for a little bit.
yeah.
He shot himself a couple years ago, right? Someone who was full of life. Every time you listen to him in interviews, he was always very happy. Obviously played he played with the veracity of someone who loved the sport. But on the outside, obviously he was struggling with CTE. Obviously he probably wasn't happy and ended up killing himself. Like, I like the way that you treat these athletes. You treat them like they're monkeys. They have to do this for me. They
What?
have to listen to what I'm saying. They have to do this for me. Yo, how dare you quit a tournament? Like, how dare you quit a tournament so I can't watch and watch over you? No, if they don't want to compete, then that's fine. If you don't want to compete, then whatever. I think because at the end of the day, like wherever it benefits them, that's fine. Like I don't need you to run around a court for my liking. Like if you don't want to do it, that's fine.
No, let me tell you why what you're saying is nothing but a bunch of horse manure.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Let me explain because I actually wanted to go and talk about this also. Now, you also have to remember the same thing happened with Paul George last year when he was in the bubble.
Hmm.
Same thing happened. Same thing. And what happened? Fans and the media destroyed that dude because of his performance.
Yeah, he played like garbage.
Played like garbage. Played
Hmm.
like garbage. He wasn't mentally there, but yet they still criticize him anyway. Why? Because he still had a job to do. That's why. You
But
have to remember.
wait.
You're
Before you
acting
continue,
like
before you continue, let me say this real quick. Before you continue, let me say this. He disclosed that he wasn't mentally there after the fact. He didn't say it before. He didn't say it beforehand. He said it after the fact. I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but go ahead. But go ahead, continue.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'm about to forget what I was about to say. But okay, so that's what happened, with him, right? Now,
Hmm.
you just and you this is what you also said. You said this in our first topic about Ben Simmons, that you said that he was probably, wasn't there in the head while he was playing basketball. That
Hmm.
something is going on, that he does not want to fully partake in putting his best ability into the sport.
Hmm.
Obviously, this is mental. But what happened? People are still criticizing him. People are still ridiculing him, and people are still pissed off at him that he wants to leave Philadelphia. Now, remember, I don't want to go back, to the topic, but I'm using this as as a point that you can't always just use mental health, or I'm just not there mentally as an excuse to not do your job. You still have a job to do, and regardless of how you say, well, Steve, you just want them, to perform for me. A lot of fans would tell you right now, if they are going to put if they are going to invest money on tickets, they are going to, and invest, their time, watching you. Remember, fans and media still plays a part of why these athletes get paid right now. It's because of the fans and because of the media why they are getting paid. Because of sponsors why they're getting paid. Naomi had I think they said Naomi was actually one of the biggest, had the biggest, made the is the most paid athlete, as when it comes to endorsement deals and everything, like over $37 million. So
Okay.
you're talking about somebody who is getting paid millions upon millions of dollars. You're talking about somebody who's been getting all these praises, all this fame, and all the person has to do is, one, perform, and two, talk to the go in the post conference. And what you're basically saying, if the person does not want to do their job, but yet the person's still supposed to get paid, no, I would never support that. I
Okay.
would never support that.
Okay.
One,
Couple things.
why,
Couple things.
hold
Couple
on,
things.
one last thing.
Mhm.
She got fined $15,000 because she didn't want to partake in the post conference.
Mhm.
Okay, how is it that you are perfectly fine competing where thousands of people are watching you, where thousands of people are watching you on TV, where there's cameras is in your face performing, when you're competing against somebody else and people are taking pictures while you're in the court, but yet when it's time for you to talk to the media, you can't do that, but you could perform. That's hypocrisy in my book. But go
Well,
ahead.
they're not the same, but regardless.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
okay.
First off, like Ben Simmons did his job, not well, but he did his job. He played and he talked to the media. Yes or no?
He did his job.
Yeah, not
Shooting,
well.
not
Not no
shooting,
no 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 no. No.
shooting, not
Listen
shoot,
listen
not wanting to
listen
shoot
to
the
what I'm
ball
saying.
is
Listen
not
to what
doing
I'm
your
saying.
job.
Listen to what I'm
You're not
saying.
doing your job.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Giannis did his job.
Listen to what I'm saying. He did his job. Not well,
No, he
but he did
didn't.
his job and he talked to the media.
He didn't do his job.
And he also talked to the media. The same thing that you said. Oh, he had to perform well, which he didn't do, granted, but he also had to talk to the media. That's what he did. He did that. So I don't put that as him quitting. He did what he had to do, right? When it comes to Naomi, right? Like I said before, there's something going on with her. Clearly, there's something going on with her. Mental, physical, I have no idea.
Okay.
But if she's not comfortable doing what she's doing, I'm not going to get mad at her for taking time. She even said she's gonna take time off. Like that's what you said, right? You said in the article that's what she said. She was gonna take time off.
Yeah, let me go back to the other one. But go ahead.
Like yeah, she said that she's going like she's taking time off. So let her take time off.
Yeah, this is yeah. I basically had like three articles,
Yeah. So
but
she's
okay.
taking time off. Like it is where it is. Now when it comes to Simone Biles, that's a different situation because she competed. And Joe says it right here. If your job will leave you crippled, which is true, which gymnastics is a dangerous sport, and if you're not focused, then yeah, call out. Or at least in his opinion, call out. Like I said before, if
Okay,
like
but
Vince,
the
Vince
hold on, but before you continue, the difference is the money that you get and I believe that also goes for tennis. The contract isn't the contract still guaranteed. The difference is if you call out of work, you don't get paid.
well, that's the thing. I don't like. I know Naomi's obligated to talk to the media. I think every tennis player is obligated to talk to the media. I like that part. I understand. That part I understand. That's something that is something that it's a tricky situation. It's something that either she or the organization is gonna have to talk about.
Okay, but at the same time, having keep in mind, and for you, Jabonis, you have to still keep in mind that there's still a trade off. If nobody wants to talk to the media, if every single person says I'm going on strike or whatever, and they don't want to talk to the media, you have to remember those are a lot of people's jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's still part of the job. So
Okay.
you're being selfish because you don't want to talk to the media, which prevents them from doing their job.
Okay.
You're not just affecting yourself. You're not just affecting fans who comes out to watch you play, but you're also affecting other people and their money. It's all a package deal. This is one of the reasons why I could understand why a lot of the reporters and a lot of people in the media, get frustrated when people don't want to answer questions, when people don't want to, come, to the post conference and talk, in front of the cameras. It's in the contract. I guarantee you, they still will take their money. They will still take their checks. But
Wait,
yeah, they
wait,
don't
they're not.
want.
No,
They,
wait, wait,
but they,
wait,
but
wait.
they,
They're
but
not.
they,
They're
but
not.
they
They're
don't. But
not.
they don't
They're,
want to
no, no,
talk
wait,
to the
wait, wait, wait,
media.
wait, wait. They're not getting paid to talk to the media. Don't put it that way. Like it's like that. That's not. They're not paid to talk to the media. They're or
No,
play
no,
whatever sport that they're playing.
no. I'm
The
talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you. Yeah, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
Like their obligation to the media is simply for the organization, like for the I forgot what the tennis organization is called, but that's for them. That's for them, right? If they just to get their stars on camera, get them in articles and stuff like that, right? Now you have someone who's not comfortable doing that right now for whatever reason. She's not comfortable doing that, right?
Yeah.
Now, I personally like I'm not gonna force her to do it, but if there's a penalty for doing that, then that's something that she has to deal with. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like my thing is this, right? I'm not going to get mad at these athletes because they put their mental health first, right? I'm just not. Like it's just not my because again, I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what their situations are. And if because look, fans don't give a shit about your mental health. At least you should. And if
Well,
that
hold on,
means
hold on, hold
that
on, hold on, hold on. But, where was your same stance when it came to Kyrie Irving?
what about Kyrie Irving?
You didn't support him when he was constantly calling out and not showing up to games. You said,
Hmm.
hope I
You
hopefully
know what?
hopefully
Because I
hope,
think he's
hopefully
full
I
of
said
shit.
this.
That's why.
Hopefully
I think he's
I'm
full of
saying
shit.
this
No, 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 no. He's
verbatim.
full of
No,
shit. No,
no,
he's full of shit.
verbatim.
I think he's full of shit.
You said that he is unreliable.
Yeah,
Verbatim. That's what you said.
yeah.
I didn't hear you. Mention anything about Kyrie Irving about his mental health.
No,
No,
look, I don't know if he like because I believe that Kyrie Irving is someone who's full of shit. I do think that. I think he's full of shit. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that. But here's the thing: the unreliable part has to do with the teams. It's a team sport. You need someone. You don't need someone who's going to not show up for whatever reason. That's something that you have to be wary of. He has a history of this, and honestly, I do think he's full of shit. I don't think I don't know if he's dealing with mental health issues, but he's someone who comes off as pretentious, he comes off as if he's full of himself. So yeah, no, I don't believe him. Now, if he truly is dealing with mental health, I'll be like, yeah, get better. But I'm not gonna change my opinion on that
why not?
because I don't
What is the
because the way he conducts himself in public leads me to believe that he's full of shit. In my opinion,
well, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm at the end of the day, I believe that if this was LeBron James, if this was Steph Curry, if this was Giannis, if they had said, "Oh, I'm just not mentally here today. I don't want to play today." If Patrick Mahomes said that, if Tom Brady said that, they all would have been criticized to the mud. I guarantee it.
all everything you're talking about is team sports related.
What does it matter? What does it matter? At
It
the
does
end of the
matter.
day, at the end of the day, you still have a job to do. Whether you're doing it solo or whether you do it with teams, you still have a job to do.
You have a contract to a team, to an organization. Like I said, I don't know how that works in tennis or golf or anything else like that. But at the end of the day, a team sport is different. Like that's your obligation. But even still, look at what Kyrie Irving. Look, Kyrie Irving's the best example of this. He's the best example of this. Like you have some people who like him for his free thinking mentality or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Me personally, I think he's full of it. I don't think he believes half the stuff that he says. You know what I mean? And I also think that some of the stuff he says makes no sense. Makes no sense. Some of the stuff that he said, like I listen, I read the comments, I listen to him speak, and he comes off as someone who's full of shit. Like this is my opinion.
Okay, that's fine, but again, if any of those guys said that I'm just not mentally there, I'm not interested in playing, the media and fans would have destroyed them. And they'll say I'm being hyperbolic about this. There's no exaggeration here. Every single time when a guy is not performing, they get ridiculed, they get freaking crucified by the media and by the fans. Look what's happening with Ben Simmons right now, getting destroyed. Look what happened when players are constantly asking, for trades. Oh, I don't want to play here anymore. If you guys don't trade me, I'm not playing. They get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They get destroyed.
And how is that different? And then how is that different than what's going on with Naomi and Simone?
Yeah, because
how is that the same?
Because one, there Simone was being called a hero for quitting. Oh, we have to watch for for their mental health. Where's the exact same stance for the men? Why we never hear statements like that for the men? But we have to cater to all the women every single time. Why?
I don't know.
But all right, thank you. All right.
But you think that people universally criticize Kyrie? Because I don't hear that. I think some people do, but not everybody. I think that I do think that your words and opinion do matter. Like what has Naomi said in the past that would lead you believe that she's full of it?
I already told you why I think she's full of it. Because if you are able to perform out there in the court where fans are watching you, where cameras are there, where people are taking pictures, where you are competing with somebody else, but yeah, you can't talk in the post conference, get the hell out of here. I don't buy that.
Steve, the last time she played in the US Open. She lost. I think she talked to the media, and then she left. She did everything that you said that she should do.
And she dropped out.
No, she lost.
Yeah,
She
she dropped
lost.
out. Yeah,
She lost.
yeah. I forgot who she lost against.
It is irrelevant. But she
But
lost. She
but
lost, and I believe she talked to the media, and then she went home. She did everything you wanted her to do.
not consistently.
What do you mean not consistently? Like she did everything you wanted her to do, and yet you're still calling her a quitter right now.
Yeah, she didn't do it consistently. At the end of the day, having regardless how you want to defend her, a
No,
contract is
no, wait.
contract is
Cut the crap. Cut the crap. Cut the
no
crap.
no
I'm not defending
no.
her. Like
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
are.
defending her.
A contract is still a contract.
What's the contract?
Because, okay,
Steve,
enough.
Steve, what's it? What is in her contract?
When
What is in
that
her contract? Play
she has
tennis,
to,
play tennis,
and that she
and
has
talk to the
to,
media.
and she has to talk to the media. Yes.
She did, and I told you the last time she was there, the last
Yeah,
time she was
last time.
visible, she
Mhm.
did that.
Mhm.
And before that, she played, she talked to the media, and then I think something happened. She started crying. Something happened. She started crying.
Yeah, and I think they stopped it, right? I think they stopped
I
the
think
press conference. They
I
stopped
think
the press
either
conference.
they stopped it and then they continued, or they stopped it completely.
Yeah, I think no, I think they stopped it completely. I think they
So
stopped it
like,
completely. But you're defending. Here's what I think you're doing. You are doing the exact same thing what all these other people in the media are doing. You want to cater to the women, but yet when the men does it, oh, suck it up. Oh no, you signed a contract. You need to do your job when it comes to the men. But when the woman does it,
when have I ever said that regarding Kyrie Irving?
yeah,
Did I ever tell him to suck it up?
yes, you said that dude is unreliable, and you just said it. He's full of
Yes.
crap. You said he's full of crap.
Yeah, I said he's unreliable. I have said that. That he's unreliable.
Okay, say that to all the women from now on. They're not doing their jobs, and that they need to suck it up and do their jobs.
The only comparison is individual sports. That's your only comparison.
But why should that matter? You still have a job to do.
If it was a team sport,
What?
then
What?
I would agree with you.
What difference? Why? Why?
Because
Why?
because I don't know what the contract situation are when it comes to tennis. As far as I'm concerned, those are individual sports. And who do you know who the star is? I don't know who that is. I think that could be. I don't know. That could be. Who is this? I have no idea who this is. Uda Star?
Uh, let me see.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Cause,
But anyway, thanks for joining.
anyways, yeah, I do think it matters. Team sport and individual sport. I do think it matters. Because, like I said, I don't know what the contract situation is when it comes to what they do individually. I don't know. I really don't. But when it comes to a team sport, I know that everything you said regarding, fans, regarding, team ticket sales, team stuff like that, all that stuff I agree with you on. Now, I don't think that I would never say, oh, suck it up, and all the other crap that you said. I'm never gonna say that. But if you are part of an organization, if you're part of a team, you are obligated to, at the very least, tell your team what's going on. Because here's the other thing about Kyrie Irving that pissed me off about what he did. He didn't tell anybody where he went. He didn't even tell a coach. He didn't tell Steve Nash.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. Isn't that a problem? Yes or no?
I think that's a big problem.
That's a huge problem. So why would if he had told Steve Nash what was going on, and then I would be a lot more sympathetic. But to me, the reason why I say he's full of shit is because he comes off as someone who can do whatever he wants and not get punished for it. That's what it comes off to me.
That's what happens when it's a players' league.
Yeah, That's fine. But he got fined though. He got fined for doing that. Like that's the difference. When it comes to someone like Naomi or Simone, they've given me no reason to dislike them or what the comments that they come off as. They don't come off as they're being acting like douchebags compared to what Kyrie Irving is.
Okay,
Now, if it
what
now
happened with Ronda Rousey though?
what did I say? I
No, no,
called her a sore
I'm
loser.
a sore loser. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
because she don't handle winning well. I'm losing well. That's the epitome of a sore loser. That is the epitome of a sore loser,
Hmm.
and that's something that Simone Biles has never displayed, to my knowledge. That's something that Naomi Osaka has never displayed, to my knowledge. So why would I waste my time trashing them when they don't come off as bad people to me? They don't. They don't come off as people who make excuses. They don't come off as people who like they don't come off as that to me. They don't. So why would I waste my time trashing them over a situation that I have no idea what they're going through. I have no idea what they're thinking. But Kyrie gives me a reason with the comments, right? With his statements, with the stuff that he did or didn't do with Steve Nash. It gives me a reason to criticize him. Same thing with Ronda Rousey. The way she handled losing, the way she handled the whole situation up to the Amanda Nunes fight, I was hoping she would lose. I was cheering for her to lose. It would be so off-putting if she was able to, like, okay, for example, for the ceremony, right? For the weigh-in ceremony, right?
Yeah.
Every time they do the weight, whatever, they do the stare down. Everyone talks to Joe Rogan. Everybody talks to Joe Rogan. Gives their comments. Who would name the one person that didn't do that? Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
Exactly. So if she did all of that, she was able to get her way, get whatever she wanted, and then she wins, and then now all of a sudden she feels comfortable talking to people. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna be okay with that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna cheer for her because of it. No. So when she loses and she displayed this attitude and this way about her where she just acts like a sore loser, then that's what I'm gonna call her. So it's not for me. It's not a man or woman thing. It's about
Really?
what. No, it is. No, it's not. It's about how you display yourself to in the public eye. Period. And if you're someone that is going that does all the talking, and then when you lose, you act like a loser, like Conor McGregor did, then yeah, I have no respect for you because like the one thing I've always respected about Conor is that he'll do the trash talking, but then afterward, then he'll show respect to his opponent, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a requirement to do that, but he does it as good sportsmanship, right? But the stuff that he pulled with Dustin Poirier, that was BS in my opinion. That's
Okay.
dog leaf in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Everything you said, is fine. I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem, with what you said about Ronda, or about what Conor McGregor. But at the end of the day, Havanel, when it comes to doing your job, you just basically that's it. You have to do your job. And look, I I could fully understand that, and it's not just tennis players. It's not just gymnastic, or people who do track and field and swimming. I understand that it's all sports. When there's basketball, football, and because look, you and I deal with it at work. There are times where we don't want to be there. There are just times we just not there mentally, or we're just not in the mood to perform at our jobs. And there'll be times where I'm pretty sure you were guilty of this. You would just call out because you just want to call out. Like it happens. It happens to everybody. Like I get it. But you also need to realize that when it comes to doing your job well, when it comes to performing well in school, when it comes to competition, there's always going to be some form of resistance there. When it comes to competition, when it comes to success, there's always going to be some type of obstacle in the way, some type of obstruction that will automatically infiltrate into your life. You know what I'm saying? If you want to work out, obviously there's going to be resistance there, because why? You have to work out constantly, you have to go be in proper diet. So in all aspects of life, there's always going to be some type of resistance, but we have to endure to the end in order for us to succeed. Quitting or saying I'm not going to partake in the sport anymore is not a good look for the public to see. And so when you do that, you're leaving room for criticism. But it has to be consistent if you're going to do that with the men, and you have to do that with the women.
So you're saying that. Wait, hold on a second. So you're saying that everyone deals with adversity, and they need to handle adversity well, right? That what you're saying?
Yeah, you have to handle because that stuff happens by default. Obstacles will always happen by default.
Okay. Okay. Like
But but
but
but but but what but how are you going to tell people that you're supposed to work hard, you're supposed to fight the obstacles, but if you're just going to quit, or not not partake in your job. And look, I understand people do it for different reasons, whether if it's people just stop working out, they dropped out of college. All this stuff happens for a reason. Like, I get it, I 100% get it. But at the end of the
do
day,
you?
let me finish. But at the end of the day, if you want to succeed, you have to endure till the end. That's just the facts. You have to go. You just have to go through with it.
And you never quit a job before.
And I got something better.
No, that nigga, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, did you, and you never quit. I asked you, did you ever quit before?
Yeah.
Okay, then why are you criticizing them for doing the same thing? And honestly, I don't even think it's the same thing. I really don't think it's the same thing.
So why you bring it up?
No, I'm bringing it up because you act like you were saying, oh, you need to persevere till the end, but you didn't do that.
I
You
did do
quit
that.
because you hated your job, and that's fine. That's
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
I got something better. Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. For these athletes, you look at it as quit. Like, first off, nothing that you showed me regarding Naomi showed that she quit. It shows that she's not mentally ready to deal with playing and dealing with the media, which is fine. I don't think she's not obligated to do it right now.
No, it's
If
not
it, it
fine.
no
No,
no
it's
no no
not
no no
fine.
no 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 no
The
no
contract is
excuse me
not fine.
excuse what contract? Have you seen a contract?
Her contract says that she has to partake
What's
in
what's who,
the post conference.
okay, and she's done that. I keep telling you this. The last time she played tennis, she did all of that. She did all of that. Clearly, it's an issue for her. Like, obviously, it's an issue for her right now, right? But everything that you mentioned regarding
If that were
regarding her, well, okay, everything you mentioned regarding quitting when it comes to Naomi, I don't see. I see it a little bit more with Simone because, like I said, she was competing in a contest, and she just, I guess, according to her, she wasn't feeling right, so she quit. She just decided, you know what, let me move aside. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that either. Because like I said, like her job and my job are not the same. My job is dangerous, but if I don't want to do the job, then I'll just leave and it'll be fine. Right? When she does it, not only does she have to deal with what she's dealing with, she has to deal with people like you on her Twitter account saying she quit, tagging her, saying she quit,
yes,
saying, and all the other
it's
stuff.
for the public to see. Yes.
Yeah, like all this stuff that she has to deal with, and then she has to like that's something that she has to live with. And honestly, nobody wants to deal with that. I don't want. I wouldn't want to put myself into. I wouldn't want to put myself in that situation. Why would I put someone else in that? If it's something that I don't want to see myself or anybody that I love go through, why would I? Why would I go through? Why would I put? Why would I be comfortable putting her through that?
Hold on. I'm trying to understand what Joe's comment means. He said Steve is so hurt. Like hurt about what?
It was that part where you were saying how like you were saying, oh, the men don't go through this with the women. The women. You were essentially saying that the women get a pass when it comes to their mental health and not the men.
Is
That's
that okay? Am I wrong? You haven't? Am I wrong about that? Because
um
you even said that's
it
just how
to me,
society is.
honestly, a part. I think that is part of it when it comes to society, but I also think when it comes to like I don't remember seeing this happen with an individual sport when it comes to a man, because again, men are not as comfortable talking about their feelings like women do, like women are. I think that's it's not universal, but I think that's pretty common thing, right? That women are more comfortable talking about their feelings than men are.
Yeah. You will. Yeah. I would have to do more studies on that, but yeah, I'll agree with you.
Yeah, so I think that has a lot to do with it. But I also think that athletes nowadays are more comfortable talking about their mental health because throughout their life they're always taught, suck it up, persevere, persevere, persevere. And I get the good message in that. I do get the message in that. But there are just some things that if you're not into it, then you shouldn't. Then you have a right to say, you know what, let me get my mind right. Let me get my mind right. And I think some people, I know you would say this, that oh, it's just an excuse for losing or whatever. I guess that's fine because, like I said, there's no perseverance in winning. Like if you're winning, right? Like everything going well. Unless you got something weird going on in the background. But if you're winning, you're winning.
Yeah.
But if you're losing and you got other stuff going on, I'm sure a lot of that it makes all that stuff seem worse.
All right. So one last final question. So
Hmm.
when Simone was fined $15,000, so you think that was right or you think that was wrong?
The Simone or are you talking about Naomi?
My bad. Naomi.
I mean, listen, rules are rules. You know what I mean? Like rules are rules. Like for example, like with the whole thing with I forgot her first name, but the runner, Cherise Richardson or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like with the whole situation. Yeah, the laws are dumb, the rules are dumb, but like at the end of the day, it's the rule. Rules are rules. And if you have to speak to the media and you get fined, then it is what it is. Now, also don't have a problem with the tennis organization talking to her and seeing if they can come up with a way to not necessarily like appease her, but a way to kind of come together and figure out a better way to handle a situation like that. That's fine too. I don't have a major issue with it because at the end of the rules are rules. Like if I don't show up to work, I'm going to get fired, and I can't blame them for firing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if the reason why I don't show up is because of them. At the end of the day, I have to work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to work.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I mean, listen, dude. There's another 2-hour podcast. Congratulations.
Well,
Anyways,
I think the first one we did was actually pretty good because that one was over an hour. I don't know if you remember. We
yeah,
actually spent a time an hour, with the first topic. So
yeah.
yeah, pretty much an hour each. But all right. So let me finish now before we continue on and it becomes 3 hours.
Hmm.
So my and you give your final take. So
I already given my final take. Like, I already given my
oh, you
final
did?
take. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So yeah. So basically, pretty much, and my final take is, I do think it's basically unfortunate and unfair that when a guy in any sport, if it's a dude, you gotta, like you said, you gotta persevere. You have to keep fighting. Suck it up. You're a man. But when it comes to women, if a woman decides to quit, oh, we have to cater to them. We have to make sure that they're okay. Mental health is such huge importance. But don't be a guy doing that. Don't be a guy doing that. If you're a guy, you're a loser, and you're a sucker. So, I mean, I don't see the consistency there, but I do find it very unfortunate that I do find it very unfortunate that Naomi is not going to partake um in the in the what do you call it, Indian Wells tournament. And she is all the crying and sobbing, being all gloomy, and and the post conference. I mean, it's starting to become the norm for all these women. And
I mean, the only person I've seen intend to do that is her.
but if women is constantly putting on display that quitting is okay, or not participating and talking to the media is okay, that's not a good look. That's not a good representation of someone trying to succeed in life. That's not good. You have to agree with that at least.
About quitting.
Yeah, whether it's quitting or not doing your job 100%. Because remember, all this is being shown on TV. If whether if it's somebody
I mean, it don't
wants to
matter if it's
quit.
on TV. It don't matter if it's on TV or if it's private. Like if you're not 100% there mentally, then you have to get better.
Yeah, but you're not sending the right message.
I don't give a shit
Where
about a message.
yes, you have to, because millions and millions of people, and whether if it's their adults or kids, that are watching you, that's still not a good message to send out to the watching world.
Hey, listen, I don't depend on tennis players to send messages to my kids.
I think you missed the whole point.
No, I don't give a shit about a message. Like ultimately the person who needs to get right is the person, not to fake it for some fucking people all over the world. Fuck them.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, having no, it's the media and the people are one of the factors why you getting that salary.
Okay,
Yes
and
or
and
no?
what? Okay, and so the fuck what? Like at the end of the day, if my mental health comes before you guys' paycheck, I don't give a fuck. All right, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's BS. I think what they all have in common was that they're not the number one at their sport, and so now they're using mental health as a cop out. Now, hopefully, when more, I guess, thorough research is being done, then I can say, okay, hey, I was wrong. But for right now, no, I think all of it is a cop out. I think it's all horse manure, and I honestly believe that we should hold them accountable the same way that we do as the men does, that we do to the men. So that's my final take. Um, Once again, we did over 2 hours. We definitely need to work on our time, but at the same time, I really did enjoy this podcast. I'll try to watch your podcast that you're coming up with on Sunday.
Mhm.
And yeah. So this is the traditionalist 101 signing out. Have a good one.
This is Who We 186. Like I said, I have a podcast with Nintendo Gamer. We're probably gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, this is Who We 186. I'm out. Peace.